Hello, everyone. Good evening. We are welcoming you from Multicultural Center in Krakow. And today we would like to talk about very unique, maybe, subject, maybe not very well known, both for those who live in Krakow and for those who are new Cracovians and came to live in Krakow from abroad. We will discuss the subject of district councils in Krakow. It really gives an opportunity to touch the subject, gives an opportunity to be active, not only in the city, but really in the place where you live. So I hope you will enjoy the presentation. And thank you, Jędrzej and Josh, for reaching out to us and giving a chance to touch this subject. Jędrzej and Grzegorz are district councillors, so they're experts in the subject, and they prepared for us the presentation. So we will spend first part of the time together with the presentation, and then you will all have a chance to ask questions. But first, maybe a few words about you, Jędrzej and Grzegorz. Can you say who are you and what are you doing in Krakow?
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Jędrzej. I am 30 years old and I am basically from Krakow. I grew up in Krakow. I graduated from the University of Economics here, as well as Jagiellonian University. I've been, mostly working before in very international environments, so like student organizations, etc. And in 2011, so 3 years ago, I was elected, actually together with Grzegorz, to the district council. I'm basically responsible for the very heart of the city, which is Rynek Główny and the very heart of Old Town, so the part that is included inside Planty. So Rynek Główny, Floriańska, Sławkowska, all those streets are mine responsibility. Later I will show you how it exactly works. And basically I decided to become a district councillor because I wanted to make a positive change in our city, and I hope that that's what I am making right now. I give you the floor, Grzegorz.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Hello everyone. My name is Grzegorz. I'm the younger member of district council in Krakow. It's district 50 Mistrzejowice. People say that is a family district. We want to, with Jędrzej, talk about our local government in our specific and multicultural, the one of older city Krakow. I'm so glad that I can share my experience about district of Krakow and about civic budget. So I think that Jędrzej, you can start it.
Sure. Okay, so I prepared a presentation for all of you today. So basically we would like to explain you how does local government in Krakow work. We divided it into two parts. The first part is how do the districts in Krakow work. So I don't know if you knew, but Krakow consists of 18 districts. 18 districts that they both have numbers and they have names. How you can check what is your district? It's very easy, because if you go to Google Maps and you click, for example, on the name Prądnik Biały, you can very easily check the borders of this district, as well as, for example...
I'm sorry, Jędrzej, you can show Mistrzejowice and Old City, yes?
Yes, sure. So this is Old Town, which is here. This is this is the border, so everything that is inside this area is in the district of Stare Miasto, so Old Town, and Mistrzejowice, for example, is here, and these are the borders of Mistrzejowice. So basically you can check in which district you live by clicking on the name on the name of the district on Google Maps. Other way of checking this is going to what you believe is your district and check the website of the district council. But I think that this way is much quicker. So coming back to our presentation, we've got 18 districts. So first of all, how does it work like? Those 18 districts are divided into 21 single-member constituencies. So, for example, that's a very good example. That's a very nice map that I don't know if you know, but that's the district number 18, which is Nowa Huta. So this is for those of you who know Krakow well. This is Plac Centralny here, and these are those sort of like rural areas that are included in this district. So this district in the center is very densely populated. So in those, well, around Plac Centralny, they're very densely populated. So there are not a lot of them. But those districts, those areas that are far away from it are basically villages that are part of Krakow, of course, but they still look like villages. The idea of single-member constituencies is that one person, so one district council member, is responsible for more or less 2,000 people. Well, 1.5 to 2,000 people. 1 to 2,000, basically, something like this. The idea of this, behind this, is that that should be a person who is possibly your neighbor, to whom you can call. You know this person, and if you have a problem, you can call this person very easily because probably you already know him or her. As you can see here, it works like this, that for example, in one of those areas, we've got 7 people who are candidates to become a district council member, and only one with the highest score is being selected. So as you can see, you can win to the district council even by having 17 votes. Unfortunately, the turnout is not very high because it's only, well, sometimes 6.5%, sometimes it can be 10%. I believe that the highest turnout in only one constituency was about 30%, and that's it. Not a lot of people even know about this, and that's something that we would like to change. So how does it work? So we've got, by coming back here, we've got 21 district councillors, and those district councillors, they create the whole district council. After the elections, those district councillors, they decide in which committee they would like to work. So unfortunately, all those web pages are not in English. That's why I couldn't prepare it in English. But for example, usually we've got something devoted to architecture and infrastructure, and that's usually the most important committee in district council. We have something about education. We have something about sport.
Development, culture,
yes.
and sports, yes.
Exactly. Those committees, they meet once in a month and they discuss the draft resolutions. It depends on the committee. Sometimes it can be 0 draft resolutions. Sometimes it can be up to even 10 on one sitting. After the committee decides what if they're in favor or against some draft resolution, this needs to be voted during the the district council session. So if you, for example, as a person living in Krakow, would like to, I don't know, ask for rebuilding of the pavement that is next to your house, or you would like to plant some flowers, or you would like to organize a small event, and you would like to have a support of district council, you contact either the district council member from your constituency. So for example, if you live here, there will be a person responsible for you exactly, or you contact the person who's the head of the committee that basically you think that would deal with this this topic. So for example, if you got something about flowers, probably there is a committee that deals with green areas. If you've got some problem with events, probably there's a culture committee, whatever. And then either you can write it on your own, but usually people don't do this because you probably will not know how to write it exactly. So you write to your district council member, and they prepare a draft resolution of the idea that you're having. Later, these resolutions will go to the city council session, and if everybody will, I mean, most of the people will be in favor, that will be put into the force. So probably that will be like this. So what are the main responsibilities of district councils? It can be renovating of the pavements, local green areas, renovations of schools, consulting traffic organization, meetings with police, municipal police, organizing local events. District councils, they have quite big budget. It's several millions of zlotys, around 2 to 3 million zlotys, depends on the district. So it is actually possible to do something with those money. So it's not really like this that we cannot do anything or we're so weak. Of course, there are lots of problems, and I will speak about them later. But we still have some money that we can use to do something that will help you. Basically, what is the idea behind the district councils? So if we'll come back, I don't know if those of you who listen to us, do you know how many city council members do we have in Krakow? 43. We've got 43 city council members. So for a city of a size of Krakow, it's a little bit not enough so that they can deal with every single problem that you're having. And it's also not possible for them to know every single person in the city, because basically one city council member is responsible for around 100,000 people. So they cannot be in touch with all of them. That is why we've got those district councils, because there are enough people and they're only responsible for 1,000 to 2,000 people of inhabitants. So that if you have a problem, first of all, you should contact your district council member. And if they will not be able to help you with your problem, then they will be able to contact you and get in touch with the city council member, so that they can basically help you with, probably if it's a smaller problem, they will be able to solve it themselves. And if not, if it's a bigger problem, then they'll contact you with the city council member. Okay. What are the major problems that we are facing in district councils? First of all, not many people are willing to become the candidates. That is a problem that I believe appears everywhere in the world, but here it is really a big problem, that people are just complaining about everything. But then when we ask them, okay, so maybe it's also your neighborhood and you can get involved, they're not really interested. So everybody likes to complain, but then not everyone likes to actually, well, do something to solve the problem. So if any one of you would like to become a candidate in the next elections, you can always contact us and we will be able to help you with this. Society is also not aware about the district councils. So unfortunately, we are not as strong as we are in Warsaw, as well, district councils are in Warsaw. In Warsaw, they've got much bigger power. They have much more possibilities. We do not have it, and we are not as well known as in other places. So basically the problem is the promotion and the fact that the society does not know about our existence. As you were able to see, only in this case that I prepared here, only 6.5% of people who are able to vote went for voting. The problem is that it means that, well, first of all, not many people know about district councils, but also those mandates are not super strong. And, well, then people do not contact you because they do not know of your existence. Unfortunately, district councils do not have legal personality. So even though you might contact us and you might want to ask us to change something, very often we might not be able to because we do not have causative power. We cannot change the law. We can basically, district councils are something like a voice of people living in this area. Of course, if it is something not very big, and it is possible to do it within the budget of the district council, we will do it. But if it's something bigger, for example, could you please change the route of the tram? Of course, we can write to MPK, but they might not be willing to change anything, and we cannot do anything with this. Well, I said that the budget is not very. I mean, it's enough, but it's also, well, a problem is that it's not super high. So we are able to do a lot of things, but not everything. And the last problem, as usual, is some political games. The second part we would like to discuss with you is the civic budget of the city of Krakow.
Thank you very much, Jens.
Okay, so Grzegorz, I give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Jens. So now I want to say about amazing initiative which has a huge influence to Krakow and Krakow districts. This initiative is civic budget. But now I want to say what is civic budget. The most important are two words, civic and budget. Civic means common for people, for our inhabitants. Budget is a common money, financial plan for a defined period, often on 1 year. We cannot this two word civic budget. Yes, we must understand how important civic budget is for development to our city and our district. What is civic budget? As a definition, it's a democratic process of discussion and decision making, in which the residents of a municipality decide how to spend some of its budget. It's interesting that civic budget was first introduced in 2011 in North City in Poland. It's Sopot. Civic budget was developing. You can the next, Andrzej. And thanks to the help current vice president of city of Krakow, it's Bogusław Kośmider, former chairman of the city council of Krakow, and thanks to current chairman of the city council of Krakow, Dominik Jaśkowiec, and a lot of government officials and local activists, was created in Krakow. The first edition was in 2014. 2014, yes. It was beginning this initiative. If you can see, city spent less money for civic budget projects in 2014 than 2020. In 2014, it was 4 million zloty. 1 year ago, it was 7. It was 7 addiction. City spent 7 times more. I think it's a huge progress and a huge progress for development our city and development our 18 districts. 2 months ago, we finished 8th edition. So you can the next, Jędrzej. Next, oh. Why ways of getting invited in the civic budget? You can submission of projects, or you can voting for projects, or you can submission of projects and waiting for projects. Natural is that you must be inhabitant city of Krakow and the one of district in Krakow, yes. But for me, the strange is that we don't have any limits of age. It's very, very strange, and is, I think, very problem in our city. But so how? Yes, submission of project and waiting, voting for projects. You can the next, Jędrzej. Okay. The next is how to submit a project of the civic budget. The first is register on the platform, is budget Krakow.pl. Then next, you must understand. We must understand that we have district and city projects. What should the application contain? You can see basic data, description, financial estimate, and the most important is that we need 15 city residents for the city projects, or 15 residents for a specific district for a district projects. The next projects are verified for anybody, raise it or accept. The next, voting for projects. Who can vote? Not every resident, every inhabitant, yes. How? The first, electronically with platform budget Krakow, or in specific place. For example, it's district council office and other office, city office. Like, for example, it can be a library and other. Every resident can vote for free. See? City and free district projects. It's very important that understand this. I think that it's a very problem that turnout. We have a problem with turnout. It's a huge problem because it's in 2020 it was more than 6%, but the city work on it. I think it's all. Thank you for attention. So I can.
I'll just add something. So basically, I was mentioning that you can all get, even as a foreigners living in Krakow, it doesn't mean that you cannot be elected to become a district councillor. You can. It works like this, that if you're a resident of European, I mean, if you have a passport of European Union and you stay and you have a residency in Krakow, you can, of course, you can vote, and you can be also elected to the district councils. I know that there is more and more people like this in Krakow who basically work here, stay here for a long time, and they have a permission to I mean, they're able to vote. So if you're able to vote in district councils, you are also able to be elected, and that's a wonderful possibility to change something in your closest neighborhood. You can basically do something for your local society, and also well, you can, I mean, the costs are sort of like reimbursed because you earn a little bit of money. I mean, it's of course not a lot of money, but it is a little bit of money, so you can also reimburse the costs and time you devote for your civil work. And about the civil budget, I'm not sure if you all understand how does it work? I mean, what kind of projects you can do? You can do a lot of projects. So, for example, Grzegorz this year has made a
Yes.
project that was about building a small houses for hedges that those small animals that lives
It was very popular.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you can do something for the animals, but also you can do. There was also a project about giving some food to the cats, but it's of course not only about the animals. There are projects about planting some new flowers in well, deserted areas that look like.
Mhm.
Yes, so planting some new flowers or renovating some small squares. I mean, whatever you see around you in your neighborhood and you would like to change it, you can either do it via the district council or via the civil budget. Basically, that's what we wanted to explain to you. If you've got questions, we are open for questions.
Yeah, actually, we have some questions from Brett. Brett is from Australia. And so the first question is about sport. Brett writes, yeah, some matters like sport can be a regional matter rather than a district one. Have you ever had representative from each district towards a regional project? If not, what do you currently see as the barriers? Also, has there ever been external funding allocated towards sporting projects within Krakow? Maybe it's not exactly about district councils, but maybe you know something about sport funding, sport event funding.
So how you can do okay, you can do sport events. I mean, that's actually a very popular thing to do. So if it is a smaller event, you can of course contact your district council. Usually they have something like sport committee that can organize sport event. Usually it should be quite local thing. It's not, I mean, mostly also because they do not have enough money to, I mean, to sponsor something very big. The second part of the question was, is it possible to you can also finance your ideas regarded to sport with the civic budget. You can there are several projects. I mean,
If
I
you
don't
can,
remember.
yes, if you can any ideas, you can use in a civic budget. Yes.
Yes, and then civic budget can have even more money than district councils, and with civic budget,
Yes.
if you promote it very well, you can actually get quite a lot of money for your idea that should be a sport event. Another part of the question was, is it possible to have some private finances involved in this? Well, that's at least what I understood. Yes, of course, you can have some private funds. I mean, there are lots of events that are co-financed with some private sponsors.
Yes, and the second question is also from Brett. The submission of project. Is there an expectation to work with the relevant departments of the city of Krakow to ensure that the project can stand up and is feasible?
Yes. So if you would like to raise a project, you write a project, and then actually it's even in the presentation, I believe. Yes. And the special committee needs to verify the projects for I mean, if it's possible to do them, if they're doable, if it's possible to finance them, and the projects can be either rejected or accepted. So yes, there is, I mean, before the project can be put into voting, there is a need for the special committee to verify them if it is doable.
Mm-hmm. Do we have more questions? Not yet now, but you have a chance to ask. I have a question. What are the examples of your successes, and what do you like the best in working as district councillors? How would you recommend this involvement personally?
So maybe Grzegorz, you can start.
I think that my personal is take care about ecology, yes, for example, uh, ecological problems in my district. It's the most important. I think it's very important in my district. But I think that
Oh, we lost Grzegorz.
Okay.
Yes, Jancy. So you have to, because we lost Grzegorz, so I think you answer,
in this case,
and maybe
okay,
Grzegorz
sure.
will join us.
Sure. In this case, I'll answer. Okay. So, well, first of all, why I got involved in becoming a district councillor, because I really wanted to do something for my local society. I really wanted to make at least a little bit of change, and well, to be sort of like controlling what is happening, because I have a feeling that a lot of things in the city were not going in the right way. The example of my successes, well, basically, first of all, it was very difficult to win where I won, because I was elected in the heart of Krakow, Floriańska, Sławkowska, everybody knows those streets, but not many people think about them in this way, that unfortunately, those houses are usually empty. They're mostly hotels, restaurants, and not many people live there. So what I did, I just made a campaign that I knocked to everyone's door at least 2 times, and most of the people said that they're very happy, because it's the first time that somebody comes to them to sort of like say them hello from any sort of like, I don't think about myself as a politician, but sort of like, well, some people consider it like this. So any person who like them to vote for them actually knocked to their doors. So what I've made, I'm very happy, because all of the people inside planted, they have my phone number, they've got my they know about my Facebook fan page, so they can follow what I'm doing, and if they have a problem, they can basically just call me and ask me a question. And I'm very happy that more and more people do this, because what I wanted, well, the reason why I wanted to start in the elections was because I really wanted to listen to people's problems and to try to help them. Unfortunately, there are lots of people who just vote, who just want to be elected, and then they don't really do much. That's another problem. But my phone number and my email address is available everywhere. And that's what I would consider my biggest success. Unfortunately, I'm in the district that I'm in the area that is very difficult to change anything, because it's UNESCO area. So, but what I'm trying to do, a lot of people are complaining about the noise at night, especially now when the restaurants are open and people had to sort of like get rid of those COVID stress, you can say so. People became extremely loud, and that is a big problem that we are facing. And people who do not live in the city center, very often they don't even think about it, that when they go on Floriańska Street and they shout very loudly, it's not like a deserted area. There are like still people living inside, and they're calling me like that they're crying every day because they cannot basically go and sleep. So as a district council, we sort of opened a new project, Noise a Noise. that aims on sort of like both on the tourists and to make aware the tourists and the inhabitants of other parts of the city that is not the city center of the Krakow. That of course is the city center and the restaurants will stay, but you should be a little bit more quiet and respect the others. So if you're out of the pub or out of the club, maybe do not shout that loudly. Just be a little bit more quiet because there are still people live in the city center. So that is something that we are doing. That many people are coming to me asking for this. And that's something I'm actually a little bit proud of because I know that people for the first time they felt that somebody listens to their problems.
I'm sorry, but I have a problem with network.
Yeah, Grzegorz, I will come back to you.
Yes.
Continuing, because Jędrzej, you said that your phone number available.
Yes.
And so my question is how to find information. Who is a district councillor? How to find the contact?
We have.
So, okay, first of all, you need to know in which district council you live. So there are 18 district councils. As I said, the easiest for me, at least, the way is to click on the name. So if you click here, you see the borders. If you click here, you see the borders. You need to check where you live exactly. And then if you know, so let's say that somebody lives here in the district number 2 Grzegórzki on street Cystersów. I just randomly opened it, yes? So you go to Google and you say, unfortunately, that's the problem, that actually I would also, knowing how many foreigners live in our city, I would also like those pages to be translated to English, but that's a bigger problem. That's, well, maybe it will happen. Hopefully it will happen soon. So you need to write Dzielnica because that's number 2. Or if you don't know the number, you just write Grzegórzki. And then we open the page. And here on the page, you click on, it's basically, I mean, every single web page of it.
It's all information about district, about council, yes?
Yeah, but it looks a little bit different. But usually it's Rada and then Rada Dzielnicy. And then you can find, you see here you can find to which, I mean, this person was elected where exactly. So when we're looking street called Cystersów, unfortunately this webpage is not very friendly because you need to open it like this, but then you can just basically search here. Maybe you already opened it, maybe not, I'm not sure, but let me check. Cystersów, not yet, but basically that's how you can check it. You can just check it by opening the web page of any. I mean, in case of our district, so Dzielnica, Stare Miasto Kraków, you open the web page. Sorry, our web page is today down. That's a problem. But if you open, for example, I don't know, whatever, Mistrzejowice, you open the web page, and here you can find
member of council.
Member of the council. You can find them, and on the web page,
you can show me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here you can find basically to whom you can contact.
Yes. And the most important information about district, about institution, for example, school, for example, the most important place in our districts.
Yes.
Okay, so Grzegorz, there is another question, but maybe first your success.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I have a typical family district where live a lot of old person and typical family, so a lot of children. So renovation of the car park for my resident and car for the development of playgrounds for children. It was a huge success for me.
Okay. Two questions again from Brett. Thank you, Brett, for being so involved in this discussion. So the first one is, as district councillors, what are some of the key areas or projects that you believe need to be enhanced or delivered within Krakow? So what are the biggest needs areas?
Sorry, because I had like I dropped the connection. So the projects for what? The projects for what?
You see it below, I think, but I will also put it on the chat. You can see it on the right side, the question.
Okay. Key areas of projects you believe need to be enhanced,
or delivered.
Okay. Well, there are quite a lot of them, I would say. Well, very big problem is problem with transports. So Krakow now, I mean, because that's of course out of the scope of district council, because we basically, as district councils, cannot make some sort of investments. We can, as I said, renovate something, we can plant some flowers, we can do some small events. That's something very local thing that we do. And here I wouldn't say that there are some major problems. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing to renovate a pavement, to paint some I don't know, walls, or exchange or add some lamps, street lamps, etc. The major problem for me in the city of Krakow is, first of all, the transport problem. That unfortunately our transport system was developed when the city was smaller, so all the trams need to go via the city center, which now causes a problem, because if you like to go from Ruczaj to Nowa Huta, basically you need to go via the old town, and that's a problem. That's one of the biggest problem that people are reflecting, and that causes also another problem with parking spaces. In the city center, there's still quite a lot of people living, because it's more than 30,000 people, which is a big drop, because 30 years ago, when the district councils were established, we had about 50,000 people living within the district number 1, Old Town. Now it is only just about 30,000. So it's a huge drop by nearly 50%. But still, a very big problem is a problem with parking spaces. So basically, everybody would like to have a parking space next to his house. And that is something understandable, but it's not possible to create it. So I believe that in the city center, we should have a network of underground parking places. But then again, everybody would like to have a parking space next to his house, but nobody would like to have an underground parking next to his house. So that is something that we are dealing basically every second day. I've got an email from some people living in the city center that they have a problem, that they cannot park. Also, a lot of restaurants, especially now after COVID, or basically, because we just say it's after COVID, it's still the pandemic is over. They were closed for half a year, and now they would like to basically, welcome all the guests. So they would like to have the gardens open, and that's also another very big problem in the old town, that lots of restaurants would like to have gardens, but then again, opening a garden deletes some parking spaces. Well, people living outside of the city center, they would like to come to the city center and sit nicely in a restaurant, enjoy themselves. But then again, it's not possible that we will delete all the parking spaces for the restaurant gardens. So parking spaces, transport, and noise. These are for me the biggest problems that the people living in the city center are always sort of like letting us know about. But then again, I believe that Grzegorz will have some other ideas, because I'm responsible for you, so like this area here, which is very touristy, and then Grzegorz is responsible for an area where people just live and there are no tourists, and I think that he will be able to tell about some other problems.
Yeah, but we lost, I think, Grzegorz again. So I will ask another question. There was a question about, I don't know what is the base of this question, but maybe the photo which we saw with the representatives of councils. Is there an effort to increase the representation of women on the district council? Do you see unbalance, and is it like growing number of women?
In the district council, so let me show you how does it, well, I don't know how many women are in every single district council. I can check it, but then again, you see how it works. It doesn't work like this, that so for example, in this case, there were, out of 7 candidates, only 2 women who wanted to become the candidates. I can show you, it's very actually interesting. If you'll check it here, the results and all the candidates, we can easily check. 1 second. Yeah, it's here. So, for example, in case of Stare Miasto, I think that they were quite balanced. Sorry, that's not it. It's the other one. It should be this one. So I'm from the city center. So, for example, this is a man. So it's 1 man, 1 woman. Man number 2, man number 3, man number 4. This is a woman. This is a woman. This is a man, so it's a man number 5. Then we've got a man number 6. That's me. Man number 7. Man number 8. That's a woman. That's also a man, so it's man number 9. Man number 10. That's a woman. That's a man number 11. That's a woman. Man number 12. Man number 13. That's a woman. And that's a man number 14. So we've got 14 men and 7 women. How to increase it? I mean, I believe that in this case, the chances are as equal as possible. So it's 1 single member constituency. So if there is a woman against men, I mean, we cannot do much. I mean, the women just need to make a better campaign, I believe, because it's not like this that we put men on a better play. I mean, that because I wasn't responsible for this, so it's a bad thing for me to say that that somebody put men on a better place. No, I mean, and then also an interesting thing is that to become a candidate, you basically just need to register. You don't need to collect any letters of support or anything. So if you're a woman and you would like to become a candidate, you just fill a formula and you make a good campaign, and then you become a district councillor. And I don't think that there is something more we can do, because there is no way of putting women on a better place, or I think it's very equal.
And how it looks with the age? Grzegorz, you mentioned that you are one of the youngest or youngest one. Again, maybe you enjoy again. Can answer the question about the age. Is it a more younger generation is stronger, or older generation? How it looks like?
That's actually another very big problem that I think exists in district councils that I was mentioning. I was mentioning here that I believe that one of the major problems is that people are not willing to candidate. People are not interested in this. Everybody complains, but then when you ask them, okay, so maybe you would like to do something and become a candidate, actually it's not a full-time job. I mean, we all work in our regular jobs, and after work we just help our city to develop. I would say that we actually have quite young people in our district council. I'm the second youngest, but the average age is something like 37 years old, which I think is quite okay. It's
Mhm.
of course there are some districts where where the average age is older, but then again, it all depends on us. So if you would like to make a change and you're young, you shouldn't expect that somebody else will candidate. I mean, candidate yourself, show your skills, show your power. I mean, win the elections.
Mhm.
Um, it's doesn't cost much. For example, my campaign cost me exactly 123 zloty, so it's not a big financial effort. So nobody can say that I cannot afford to come to become a candidate for the district councillor. No, it's 123 zloty. I think that everybody can spend this money. Of course, you can spend more, but then it doesn't mean that you will win. I mean, I won with this, and it was perfectly enough. Um, um, However, I know that many political parties, because basically also a lot of political parties are trying to have a representatives in the district councils, are trying to find as much young people as possible who would like to candidate. Um, but that's something that I'm trying to educate, and I'm trying to tell to all the people I meet and all my friends and everybody, like, if you are not happy with the political situation in Poland, or if you're not happy with the with what's happening in the city, or if you're not happy with what's happening in your district, like, do not expect that somebody else will become a candidate. Like, if you're a woman, or if you're a 20-year-old guy and you would like to change something, just candidate. And especially in the district councils, it's very easy to become a candidate. It doesn't require a lot of money, and you don't need to become a member of the political party, because you can just register yourself as an independent candidate.
Is we have a comment more than question from Marta Wodyńska, who wrote, Jędrzej, I disagree. There are too many old being there much too long, doing much less than when they started. So that's probably just a comment.
Okay, I mean, there are too many old being there too much long, but then again, people vote for those people. So if those people are having better campaign, if those people are, let's say, making a better, well, doing more during the campaign, and then the young people, and also I saw it, I was like super disappointed when some of the candidates. So the elections were on Sunday. We sort of had a group together that we were we sort of were supporting each other, and some people were just on Saturday evening saying, okay, I'll give someone 200 zloty, can you give my leaflets? When I, for example, had my campaign for 2.5 weeks, I was just knocking to people's door, trying to encourage them to vote, and some people were expecting that if they will just pay 200 zloty and somebody will give their leaflets, they will win. No, I mean, it doesn't work like this. So I think that yes, there are too many old people being in the district councils, but then again, that means that somebody wanted to vote for them and they probably made a better campaign.
So there is very long comment, and Catalina, as woman, I think she is commenting on our discussion. I will also maybe paste it in our chat. Yeah, that because at the end that there is not many possibilities to encourage women. So I think the point is that maybe there are some ways to do like campaign or to promote women's involvement in society. I think it can be also the thing about education, and maybe also like encouraging in general women to be more involved and making spaces for them in
Then, on the other
different
hand, I would
areas.
say that based on my experience, women who are in our district council are very active, and on average, they're more active than the men. So, of course, there are some problems, and I know that women have probably maybe less time sometimes, something like this. But still, I believe that, well, still, you don't need anything. You don't need to have a support of any political party or any other sort of like organization. You can just fill the application form. You do not even collect to some votes of support. You just send this and you become a candidate. And I think it's very clear, and the better person wins. So in those cases, and I know that maybe in higher positions to become in the parliament, yes, of course, maybe women are put on worse positions or something. But here, that's not the case, because even if I'll share my screen once again for a second. Even if you'll see how does the one second. How does I hope that everybody sees it. I mean, this is okay. So here the list is based alphabetically. So it can be a woman, like in this case, the woman had a surname starting with K, and it's a woman, so she was number 1, and she got only 4 votes. And then it can be also here, number 1 was a woman. It can be here a man, because men just had the, it's sorted alphabetically. So I really think that in case of those district councils, it's very equal for men and for women.
Okay, any more questions? I think that's, yeah, just encouragement from Marta that we as women should candidate. Yeah, we can. That's the good place to call women to be candidates.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we can do today. Yeah, I don't know, Grzegorz, if you are with us, maybe you have some additional comments.
Yes, but I want
We
to
covered
say
a few subjects, but maybe you have something to add.
Yes, I want.
Every time. I think it's a bad day for Grzegorz. I think we will.
He must be very stressed by now already, I think.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so I think we can slowly end.
Yes, sure.
I think that for sure it was interesting for many of us, and I learned a lot. So even that was basic, but maybe information from your point of view, but even for me it was interesting. So I hope maybe we will have in next elections also foreigners as a candidates.
Yes, that's actually my idea, that according to many statistics, about 15% of people living in Krakow is foreigner already. So I believe that, well, we should have also some support and some representation of foreigners living in Krakow in those district councils. It's not very difficult. You do not need to know Polish that super well to become a candidate. Grzegorz is very sad now, a very upset one. Yes, I mean, I hope that, I mean, that's also what we are trying to do with Grzegorz. So that if you're a foreigner, we speak English, you can always contact us if you have a problem. We will, if it's not in our scope, we'll try to redirect you to the person whose scope it is. And yes, so I mean, don't be, I mean, don't, because more and more actually people, the idea why we wanted to have this is because more and more foreigners are actually contacting us. So we already noticed that the number of foreigners living in our city is very highly growing, and the people are trying to get involved. And we don't want them to, for those sort of like feel that, oh, of course I don't know what to do, how to start. That's why I'm saying this. Like, if you would like to become a district councillor, or you would like to change something in your area, or you would like to do something in the civic budget, so budżet obywatelski, you can always contact us, find us on the internet. I've got my phone number on the webpage. I've got a fan page on Facebook. I think I'm very accessible, so you can just contact us and we can work together.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, we can try to give you, Grzegorz, last word, but let's try. Yeah, maybe this time it will work.
I'm sorry for my problems, but yeah, I want to say that young people should understand how important is helping other, but informing them what is, for example, district, city, it's education, yes, it's very, very hard in our education system, because young people should understand how important is our city, is our developing, is our districts, because it's our place when we was born, when is our school, and where is.
And we lost.
Okay, I lost Grzegorz. Anyway, I think he added important comments. I think we also have hope in the new generation that they will be more involved and they will take also responsibility for our city. But yeah, I think for me it's also called today how am I responsible? Yeah. So have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for questions. And yeah, we encourage you to contact Jędrzej or Grzegorz, or your maybe good idea today is to find someone in your district who would like to cooperate with you. Maybe tomorrow walking in your district, you can think of some project or ideas, please follow us, follow our Facebook page, and continue the subject, because that's what we also want to do. We want to involve foreigners in the life of our city, because they are an important part of the city already. Thanks, and yeah. Again,
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much for my attention. Thank you much.